Cursed Film Season 1 is a documentary, five-part documentary series where each episode is based around a certain movie that is quote-unquote cursed, whether it be actual curses from demons or ghosts or freak accidents or even deaths. With Season 1, they talk about The Exorcist, The Omen, Poltergeist, The Crow, and Twilight Zone the movie. With I've seen all those movies. I've seen them all. And with like The Exorcist, I was aware of some of the stuff that happened. The one that I didn't know anything about was Twilight Zone the movie. But first off, this was a really interesting documentary series because I love film, as you may have guessed. But I was also aware, like when I first watched The Exorcist or first watched Poltergeist, I was aware that like certain things had happened. With like The Exorcist, there was apparently set caught on fire, and the only set that didn't get touched but the blazes was Reagan's room. With like Poltergeist, you had a little girl, Heather O'Rourke. She died at the age of 11 or 12. She literally died while they were in the middle of filming the third movie, which they talk about in the season, and that they wanted to stop filming, but the studio kept heckling them saying, no, finish it because we want to make money. Unlike The Crow, where after Brandon Lee had died, they wanted to stop making the movie, but it was Brandon Lee's mother, or Bruce Lee's wife, told them, no, continue it, finish it for him. So they finished it. So I watching this documentary was kind of like taking notes. And I love film, and I love learning like how stuff was made, or how like behind the scenes stuff was handled, or any of that stuff. So I was super engaged with this series, and especially with this season because I've seen all 5 of these movies. Like with The Omen, I was aware of like the plane crashes, some of the deaths. With like The Exorcist, I was aware of how they thought this movie was so evil that there was a little demon living inside the film. But something that's really cool about this, not just this season, but the whole series as a whole, is that they go through like archive footage, so like you can actually see what happened, but also they bring in people that were involved with the movies, and that they said like, no, this was absolutely true, no, this was absolutely false. They go through rumors and discuss like, did this happen or did this not happen? And they give you as much information as they can, but with the rumors and stuff, you can still be kind of like, it's kind of like you believe what you want to believe. So I really enjoyed this season. I thought it was great. So yeah, I give the season a great. Then they didn't know, and nobody knew what was going to happen. They just thought this was going to be a 5-part miniseries. They didn't know what they were going to do, and then they made part 2, or season 2. Now with season 2, it's 5 new movies. It's The Wizard of Oz, Serpent in the Rainbow, Stalker, Cannibal Holocaust, and Rosemary's Baby. With The Wizard of Oz, they talk about that was the movie that kicked Judy Garland's drug addiction. They also talk about the Wicked Witch of the West, I think. Actress fell through a elevated platform and was like really badly burned. Yeah, from just like accidents to the footage of a hanged munchkin in the woods, which they talked to a collector who had the original VHS for it, and it shows the hanged munchkin, and then the studio then realized that they then recognized that, and were like, we need to put out a new version, and so they did, and they cut that part out. So that part was deemed true. There were also some rumors they talk about where it was like that wasn't true. This was though from somebody. For Rosemary's Baby, it was mainly they talked about Roman Polanski's wife Sharon Tate, how she was murdered by the Manson family. So I don't, some of these on here I don't think are cursed. I think more of like either you brought this upon yourself or like freak accidents that just happened. So like Twilight Zone the movie back in season 1, the whole thing with that is in John Landis's segment, there was a scene where the main character in that was also carrying 2 small kids with him across a river when he's being shot at, and there was a helicopter right above them, and there was some explosions. The explosions got too close to the helicopter and just smacked like right on top of the actor and the 2 kids, and they were already working the kids late. So yeah, it was like, wow, this is just really, really sad. And so and like with Rosemary's Baby, I don't think that was cursed because the Manson family, they were just evil people. And there was also the one on apparently Mia Farrow. Apparently, Frank Sinatra brought her divorce papers literally on the set. So I thought like, wow, that's just not only bad timing, but that's just being a real jerk. So there's I don't think like with Twilight Zone the movie or with Rosemary's Baby, I don't think they're cursed, especially with Cannibal Holocaust, because with that one, it was criticized for being so graphically violent that they thought the filmmakers actually killed real people. They did not, but they did kill real animals, including like muskrats, monkeys, and especially a live tortoise. They filmed him. And they interview the actors involved with that one, and they said like, yeah, we cannot believe that happened. We cannot forgive ourselves for doing that. And they talked to the director too, and the director was like, it's filmmaking, it's just for show, it's for entertainment. And I'm like, there's a fine line with creating movies and torturing animals. That's why, with like the old westerns back in the day when, cowboys were shot and then their horses go like all flying, or they, that's because they had wires, connected for the horses to trip. And most of the time, those horses, died because they would land on their like necks and then break with their necks, and yeah, just animal cruelty. That's why, nowadays when we have CGI, movies would rather use CGI to make animals, but they just look they just kind of look like Doolittle, where it just looks really bad, like it's so unbelievable. Or they look like Cats, where they just look like mutated humans. But yeah, with like Serpent and the Rainbow, it was like, yeah, like that was just a whole bunch of stuff that happened. But also with Stalker, it was kind of like that, and just a whole bunch of stuff happened. But I don't think season two was as good as season one. Because season one was kind of like the ones where it's like, yeah, we all know these movies, but with season two, it was kind of like, you may know this one, you may know this one. I didn't know what the movie Stalker was, and I didn't know that Serpent and the Rainbow was considered cursed. So I was like, okay, well, I'll still check it out. And I did like it, but it to me it just wasn't as good as season one. So with this one, I think it's I'm caught between average and great, but it is going to get a great because it was still interesting to know these things. Just so yeah, if you're a future filmmaker like I want to be, they even say like if you make a movie about like demons or religion or anything involving like supernatural entities and or anything like that, dealing with like dark things, you are kind of opening yourself up to being cursed or being chosen or whatever it is. Like I read that on like the set of the first Conjuring movie, they had stuff happen. So it was a very fun documentary series. I enjoyed them. So they're on Shudder, so you can go ahead and just watch them that way. So there you go. That's my review for both seasons of Cursed Films. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe. Let me know what other entertainment stuff you want me to check out. I'll see you next time.